Hello, and a very warm welcome back to Grow English Mastery. My name is Scarlett, and it is a real pleasure to have you with me today. I hope you are feeling wonderful and ready to explore the life of a truly remarkable person. When you think of a powerful global leader, what image comes to your mind? Perhaps you picture a president, a prime minister, or a business titan. Today, we are going to learn about a woman who has been all of these things and more. A woman who has stood at the center of world-shaking financial crises, not with a background in economics, but with the sharp mind of a lawyer and the graceful skill of a diplomat. She is known for her intelligence, her elegant style, and her calm confidence under pressure. She has smashed through some of the highest glass ceilings in the worlds of law, politics, and finance, time and time again. Her name is Christine Lagarde. Her journey is a masterclass in leadership, communication, and reinvention. It shows us that the path to success is not always a straight line. So, find a comfortable spot, and let's dive into the incredible story of one of the most powerful and influential women in the world. In our lesson today, we have several important goals. By the end of our time together, you will not only be familiar with the inspiring career of Christine Lagarde, but you will also have significantly strengthened your English skills. First, we will enrich your vocabulary with powerful words related to leadership, law, government, and international relations. We will learn words like diplomacy, negotiation, policy, and crisis. These are words that will help you sound more professional and understand global news more clearly. Second, we are going to focus on and master a very important English tense, the present perfect. We use this tense to talk about our experiences, our accomplishments, and things that have happened in the past that have a result in the present. It is the tense of the resume, of the job interview, of the life story. Christine Lagarde's career is a perfect example of the present perfect in action. Third, this lesson will demystify some of the world's most important institutions. We often hear about the IMF and the European Central Bank on the news, and they can sound complex and intimidating. We will look behind the big names to understand the human story of the leadership required to run them. Finally, we want to be inspired. Christine Lagarde's story is a powerful testament to resilience, the courage to take on new challenges, and the idea that communication is one of the most valuable skills a leader can possess. It is a story that proves that your background does not define your future. So, our mission is clear. Learn new vocabulary, master the present perfect, understand global institutions, and get inspired to lead in your own life. Are you ready? Let's begin. The story of Christine Lagarde begins in the beautiful city of Paris, France, where she was born in 1956. Her parents were both teachers. Her father was a professor of English, and her mother was a Latin, Greek, and French literature teacher. From a very young age, she was surrounded by books, ideas, and a deep appreciation for education. But her early life was not just about academics. There is a fascinating detail from her teenage years that gives us a wonderful insight into her character. As a teenager, she was a dedicated and accomplished athlete. She was a member of the French national synchronized swimming team. Think about that for a moment. Synchronized swimming is an incredibly demanding sport. It requires immense physical strength, flexibility, artistic grace, and perfect teamwork. You have to hold your breath for long periods, perform complex movements, and do it all with a smile on your face, making it look effortless. This combination of discipline, resilience, and grace under pressure would become a defining feature of her entire career. After her father passed away when she was a teenager, her mother encouraged her and her 3 younger brothers to be independent and to see the world. She went to America as an exchange student, where she perfected her already excellent English. This experience gave her a deep understanding of American culture and a truly global perspective. When she returned to France, she studied law and political science at top universities. She was ambitious and aimed for the top. She applied to a very prestigious French school that is a traditional pathway to the highest levels of government service, and she was rejected. Not once, but twice. For many people, this kind of failure could be devastating. It could be the end of a dream. But for Christine Lagarde, it was a redirection. It was a moment of resilience that forced her to find a different path to success. Unable to enter the French civil service, she decided to use her law degree in the private sector. She joined a large American international law firm called Baker & McKenzie. This decision, born from an early failure, would set her on a completely different and ultimately even more spectacular trajectory. It was the first step in a journey that would take her from a Paris law office to the very center of global power. This early story teaches us a powerful lesson. Sometimes, the closed doors lead us to better and more interesting rooms. Now, let's take our customary break from the story to focus on our grammar point for today, the present perfect tense. This tense is absolutely essential for sounding like a natural and fluent English speaker, and Christine Lagarde's career gives us the perfect material to practice it. We use the present perfect to connect the past with the present. It's used to talk about actions or states that happened at an unspecified time in the past, but have relevance or a result now. The formula is subject plus have or has plus the past participle of the verb. The past participle is the third form of the verb, like seen, been, spoken, or finished. Let's look at the main uses. The first is to talk about life experiences. It's a way of saying, I have the memory of this now. For example, I have visited London. The exact time is not important. The experience is. Or, she has never studied Russian. This tells us about her life experience up to the present moment. The second use is to talk about accomplishments or changes. For example, she has broken many records. Or, I have finished my homework. The action is complete, and the result is important now. The result of finishing my homework is that now I am free. The third use is for an action that started in the past and is still continuing. We often use for and since with this. For example, she has been the president of the ECB since 2019. She started in 2019, and she is still the president now. Or, I have lived in this city for 10 years. I started living here 10 years ago, and I still live here. Christine Lagarde's resume is a perfect illustration of the present perfect. We can describe her career by saying, she has had an incredible career. She has been a lawyer, a government minister, and the leader of two of the world's most important financial institutions. She has managed many international crises. She has worked with leaders from all over the world. All these past actions and experiences define who she is today and explain her current position and skills. Let's practice. I'll give you a subject and a verb, and you can make a sentence about your own life experience. You travel. You could say, I have traveled to 2 countries, or I have never traveled outside my country. You learn. You could say, I have learned a lot of English today. Mastering the present perfect will allow you to talk about your life, your skills, and your accomplishments in a professional and confident way. It's the tense of experience. Now that we understand the tense of experience, let's discuss how you can use Christine Lagarde's story to practice all 4 of your English skills. Active and engaged practice is the fastest way to improve. First, listening. Christine Lagarde is a phenomenal public speaker, and she gives interviews in English all the time. Find a recent interview with her on YouTube. Your listening mission is to listen specifically for the present perfect tense. Listen for sentences where she says, I have, or we have. She often uses it to talk about the challenges the ECB has faced, or the policies they have implemented. For example, we have seen inflation come down, or I have always believed in European unity. This exercise will tune your ear to one of the most common and important structures in English. Second, speaking. Let's activate your own speaking voice. I want you to answer a question out loud, as if you were in a job interview. It's great practice for thinking on your feet. Here is the question. What is your greatest accomplishment? Take a moment to think. Now answer using the present perfect. You could say, I think my greatest accomplishment is that I have learned a new language. Or, I have successfully managed a difficult project at work. Or, I have raised a wonderful family. Say the sentence out loud. Answering this question confidently is a great skill to have. Third, reading. Reading is where you can see the language in its natural habitat. Find Christine Lagarde's official biography on the website of the European Central Bank, ECB, or the International Monetary Fund, IMF. These are usually written in clear professional English. Your task is to read her biography and highlight every sentence that uses the present perfect. You will see it is used again and again to list her past roles and achievements. Then find 5 new vocabulary words. You might find words like appoint, succeed, chair, oversee, or implement. Write down the word and the sentence to remember its context. Finally, writing. Writing allows you to use your new grammar and vocabulary in a creative way. Your assignment is this. Imagine you are writing a short bio for your professional social media profile. Write 2 or 3 sentences about your professional experience using the present perfect. For example, I am a marketing professional with 5 years of experience. I have worked with international clients, and I have developed several successful campaigns. I have recently completed a certification in digital analytics. This is a very practical and useful writing exercise. By doing these 4 activities, you are creating a complete learning cycle from listening and recognizing to speaking and creating. Now, let's take a deeper dive into the incredible career of Christine Lagarde, which can be seen as 4 distinct and brilliant lives, each one more impressive than the last. Her first life was as a trailblazing lawyer. After being rejected from the path of a French civil servant, she joined the Paris office of the major international law firm Baker & McKenzie. This was in 1981. She specialized in labor law and competition law. She was brilliant, hardworking, and her bilingual skills were a huge asset. She quickly rose through the ranks. In 1999, she was elected as the chair of the entire global firm. This was a monumental achievement. Baker & McKenzie was a massive organization with thousands of lawyers around the world. Christine Lagarde became the very first woman to ever lead the firm. She shattered a huge glass ceiling in the very male-dominated world of corporate law. She had proven that she could lead a major global business. Her second life was as a top politician in her home country of France. After more than 20 years in law, she made a big career change. In 2005, she was asked to join the French government as the Minister for Trade. She later became the Minister for Agriculture. Then, in 2007, she was appointed to one of the most powerful jobs in the country, Minister of Finance and Economy. This was another historic first. She was the first woman to ever hold the finance ministry in any G8 country, the group of the world's largest economies. Her timing was incredibly challenging. Shortly after she took the job, the 2008 global financial crisis erupted. She was at the center of the storm, working with other world leaders to prevent a total collapse of the financial system. She earned a reputation for being a tough negotiator and a calm, pragmatic leader in a time of chaos. Her third life took her onto the global stage as the head of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. In 2011, the IMF was facing a crisis of its own, and it needed a new leader. Christine Lagarde was chosen, becoming once again the first woman to ever lead the institution. As we've discussed, the IMF acts as the world's economic firefighter. During her time as managing director, she was faced with the European sovereign debt crisis, where countries like Greece, Portugal, and Ireland were at risk of bankruptcy. Her job was to navigate these incredibly complex situations, negotiating bailout packages that required tough economic reforms. It was a job that required not just financial acumen, but immense diplomatic skill. She had to bring together world leaders with very different interests and persuade them to cooperate. She led the IMF for 8 years, restoring its credibility and steering the world through numerous economic challenges. Her fourth and current life is as the president of the European Central Bank, or the ECB. In 2019, she was appointed to lead the institution responsible for the euro, the currency used by over 340 million people. And yet again, she was the first woman to hold the position. The ECB's main job is to keep prices stable. As with all her previous jobs, her timing was marked by crisis. Soon after she started, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, forcing her to take extraordinary measures to support the European economy. More recently, she has been leading the fight against high inflation, making difficult decisions about raising interest rates, from top lawyer to French minister to head of the IMF, and now president of the ECB. Each stage of her career has been a historic first. She has shown an incredible ability to reinvent herself, to master new and complex fields, and to lead with grace and determination at the highest possible level. Christine Lagarde's journey is rich with inspirational stories and lessons that go far beyond any job title. These are lessons in character, resilience, and leadership that we can all learn from. Perhaps the most important story is the one we started with, her early failure. Her rejection from the top civil service school in France could have defined her as not good enough. Instead, she refused to accept that verdict. She found another way. This story is a powerful lesson in resilience. Life will inevitably present you with setbacks and rejections. A door will close. The lesson from Christine Lagarde is not to stare at the closed door. It is to have the courage and creativity to look for an open window. Your path may not be the one you originally planned, but it can lead you to an even greater destination. Another powerful lesson comes from her unique background. In a world of central bankers who are almost all PhD economists, she is a lawyer. Some people saw this as a weakness, but she turned it into her greatest strength. Because she wasn't a technical economist, she had to learn to communicate complex, economic ideas in simple, clear, and persuasive language that politicians and the public could understand. Her success is a testament to the fact that communication is perhaps the most critical leadership skill of all. It's not always the person who knows the most who is the most effective leader. It's often the person who can explain ideas most clearly and build consensus. For English learners, this is a golden lesson. Don't just focus on knowing the rules. Focus on being a clear and confident communicator. And let's go back to that wonderful detail about her past as a synchronized swimmer. She herself has talked about the lessons she learned from the sport. She said, "Grit your teeth and smile." This means, even when things are incredibly difficult, you must maintain your composure, work with your team, and present a confident face to the world. It's a perfect metaphor for diplomacy and leadership. When you are in a tough negotiation or managing a crisis, you cannot show panic. You must project calm and control. It's a lesson in grace under pressure. When you face a difficult situation, like a job interview in English, remember this advice. Take a deep breath, grit your teeth, smile, and do your best. So, resilience in the face of failure, the power of clear communication, and the art of smiling through difficulty. These are the human lessons behind the headlines, and they are qualities that have made Christine Lagarde one of the most respected leaders of our time. As we near the conclusion of our lesson, I want to talk about the power of your mindset. Your attitude towards yourself and your learning journey is a critical factor in your success. Christine Lagarde's career offers a powerful blueprint for a winning mindset. First, embrace new challenges without fear. Think about the incredible jumps Christine Lagarde has made in her career. From law to national politics. From national politics to global finance. At each stage, she entered a new world where she was not the expert. She had to learn quickly. She was not afraid to say, "I don't know, but I will learn." She had the confidence to leave her comfort zone and master a new field. This is a mindset we should all adopt as learners. Don't be afraid to try something new in your English practice. If you usually just read, try a speaking club. If you only watch movies, try reading a book. Embrace the discomfort of being a beginner. That is where the greatest growth happens. Second, cultivate a commanding presence. Christine Lagarde is famous for her confident and polished style. When she walks into a room, people notice. This is not just about the clothes she wears. It's about her posture, her eye contact, and the clear, steady way she speaks. She projects authority and competence. This is something we can all learn from. When you speak English, even if you are nervous inside, try to project confidence. Stand or sit up straight. Make eye contact with the person you are talking to. Speak a little more slowly and clearly than you think you need to. Your body language and your presence can change how people perceive you, and it can even change how you feel about yourself. Third, believe in the power of collaboration. As a lawyer, a minister, and the head of the IMF and ECB, her job has always been to bring people together. She has to get leaders from different countries with competing interests to agree on a common solution. Her success is built on diplomacy, negotiation, and building consensus. She knows that you achieve more by working together than by fighting. This is a wonderful mindset for a learning community. See other English learners not as competition, but as collaborators. Practice with them, encourage them, share what you have learned. A collaborative environment helps everyone to rise together. So, a mindset of embracing challenges, projecting confidence, and valuing collaboration. These principles, demonstrated throughout Christine Lagarde's career, can help you become a more confident and effective person in English and in life. And so, our journey through the incredible life of Christine Lagarde comes to a close. We have traced her path from a synchronized swimming pool in France to the highest offices of global finance, shattering glass ceilings at every single step. Let's briefly summarize what we have learned today. We have learned the story of her 4 incredible careers. As a trailblazing lawyer, a French finance minister during a crisis, the first female head of the IMF, and now the first female president of the ECB. We have armed ourselves with new vocabulary about leadership and diplomacy. We have also focused on mastering the present perfect tense, the essential tool for talking about our experiences and accomplishments. And we have discussed practical ways for you to use this story to improve all 4 of your core English skills. Most importantly, we have been inspired by her story, a story of resilience, of turning failure into a new beginning, a story that proves that communication and diplomacy are among the most powerful skills in the world. A story that shows that a leader can be strong and determined while also being graceful and collaborative. Christine Lagarde's life teaches us that you do not need to follow a traditional path to get to the top. You can write your own story. With hard work, a willingness to learn, and the courage to take on new challenges, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Now, it is your turn to use our grammar of the day. Using the present perfect, what is the most interesting or difficult challenge you have ever faced in your life? I would be honored to read your stories. Please share them in the comments section below. Learning about each other's experiences helps us all to grow. If you have found this lesson to be valuable and inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. It helps our channel enormously. Please also share it with a friend who might be inspired by a story of powerful female leadership. And finally, if you have not yet subscribed to Grow English Mastery, please do so now, and be sure to click the notification bell. You won't want to miss the lessons we have planned for the future. Thank you so much for your focus and for joining me today. It has been a true pleasure to be your guide. Keep learning, stay resilient, and lead with confidence in your own life. My name is Scarlett, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. Goodbye for now.